Don't forget, guys, you cannot go to work today unless you're working on fucking up everybody else's day. What we have to talk about is the ice out thing that they're trying to do, where it's basically just, hey, we're not going to spend any money today. Great, because you spent all your money on taxes for these illegal immigrants. But without going too much into it, at least right at this point, we have to have something that we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate Don Lemon getting arrested over anti-ICE Minnesota church protests. By the way, I know I kind of like preface that. If you guys like anything you see here on this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. But he was arrested over that anti-ICE Minnesota church protest, which came out about 2 or 3 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is now behind bars. The former CNN anchor spoke to protesters, congregants, and a pastor on a live stream during the protest because they fucked up a service for their absolute bullshit. He's trying to stay relevant without grabbing another cock. Former CNN, okay, here's one of the reasons why I chose this article is you have to see how they just gargle the balls. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon has been arrested over that protest that took place in a Minnesota church during Sunday services last week. Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. If he was covering the Grammy Awards, then he would have been at the Grammys, not at a church. But I guess they just took a little bit of time for them to actually press charges. Don has been a journalist for 30 years. Who gives a fuck? And as journalist is also a very loose term nowadays. And his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. Constitutionally protected. That's a question that we're going to delve into in this video. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. However, these are just normal citizens. These are normal citizens practicing their religion, and there is actually a law where you can't do that. There is more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. There is no more important time for people like Don. Who said this? Who said this? This is what I want to know. Who's Abby Lowell? Oh, Don Lemon's attorney. Oh, okay, of course. One of these little liberal faggots that are out here trying to just, spread more discord. Everything is right in their eyes. It's just journalism. Journalism that it's protected by the First Amendment. You know what else is protected by the First Amendment? The right to peaceably assemble. You fucking retard. At my direction early this morning, federal agents arrested Don Lemon, these other people, Georgia Fort, Jamail, Lotto, Lundy, in connection. These all sound like California names, except for Georgia Fort. That sounds like something you would have made whenever you were a kid tromping around in the woods in the background. In connection with the coordinated attack on City's church in St. Paul, Minnesota. And this is what happened. Fort's also an independent journalist, which just means there's someone with a camera, there's someone with a smartphone who talks as if they're a journalist. They asked a whole bunch of prying questions. That's what constitutes a journalist nowadays. It's yellow journalism, not yellow skinned, but I don't know. Maybe some of the liquids that are poured over Don Lemon's face, if he was underage, we could just call R. Kelly for that. Who posted a Facebook live stream of the protest? We have always seen that. I hope y'all have seen it. Lemon, who now hosts a show on YouTube, like I said, no longer an established mainstream journalist, just a YouTuber because he got his ass fired. He got his gay ass fired. Was on a live stream that began outside the church in St. Paul, but followed protesters as they went inside, interrupting a religious practice which is against the law, alleging that a church official also worked at a local ICE office, alleging it wasn't even based on facts. It's almost like you know how cops need a warrant to search your house, or unless they have probable cause. You didn't even have probable cause. All you have to do is say something. This is the hashtag Me Too movement again. This is the hashtag Me Nazi movement. That's what's happening right now. The journalist proceeded to interview protesters, congregants, and a pastor during the protest. This shit pissed me off so much. Okay, churches are supposed to be gun-free zones. Guess what? I bring my gun in a church sometimes because of these motherfuckers that will come in while we're trying to worship God, and they will just come in and blow their own their own ideology into everything, interrupt everything. This is supposed to be a sacrosanct place of worship. And you come in with your fucking ideological politics. And sometimes people shoot up churches. So, no, I'm going to shoot back. The blowback to the protest was swift, and there are laws, most notably the FACE Act. Ooh, there we go, that make it a crime to obstruct someone from practicing their religion. So he committed a crime. He committed a crime right there. The FACE Act. Enact that, not enact that, but like use that, prosecutors, which would almost certainly apply to a Sunday church service. Almost certainly. What are you talking about, Hollywood Reporter? Almost certainly. No, that does apply to a Sunday church service. You can't obstruct someone from practicing their religion. It's a church, by the way, which is private property that they have paid for and own. So you went into private, you're a trespasser at this point. Well, it seems like the charges are stacking up, are they not? Of course, America also has robust First Amendment protections, but only when you want them. Not for the other side of the aisle that thinks differently than you. Making this case a potential landmark one is the right to free exercise of religion and the right to freedom of the press collide. You cannot stop. Oh my gosh. One does not preclude the other. You stupid fucking idiots. You stupid fucking idiots. You wanted a scoop. You obstructed someone from practicing their religion. You called them names whenever that's their sanctimonious place. No, you done fucked up. You're going to try to claim First Amendment. There are certain things that the First Amendment doesn't protect. You'll fire in a crowd or theater. Calls to action. And obstructing church service. You can't fucking get away with it. Profoundly concerning questions about press freedom and the First Amendment. Like, no, we're fucking done talking about this. Actually, I'm not done talking about it, but I'm done letting this article talk for us. Here's what the conversation needs to be. If you're in your home and a press person wants to come in, you have to let them in. All right? You're on private property. Let's just do a thought experiment real quick. They cannot barge into your home and start doing questions. They can't start yelling at you. They can't just barge into your home. A church is private property. It is paid for. Yes, they are tax-free, but they still pay for the property. They still pay for the utilities. They still pay for everything else like that. They still pay taxes, by the way. They just don't pay property taxes. You can't just barge in there, especially under something that is in the Constitution that you cannot interrupt. Well, it's not in the Constitution, but it's in other federal statutes. You can't do that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think this retard fucked around, found out. I think he's trying to go the YouTube route, and he thinks that in order to go viral, he has to pull some kind of stunt. And these kind of stunt YouTubers they're the ones that are getting arrested because they're finally realizing, especially with the amount of views that they get on them, that, oh, what they're doing is illegal. Someone's going to report it. And if there's meat behind that report, well, you're going to jail, nigga. Jeez. It's not that fucking hard. Leave people alone. And don't go to work today. And don't don't buy anything today. But do go out in the street and block traffic and protest. I don't know. Don't do anything today, but also do stuff. These people have oh my gosh, I'm about to have a stroke. these people don't have their ducks in a row. They got two brain cells that are just like playing Pong in their head, and those are the only two they have left. It makes absolutely no sense. Go be a normal, functioning human being. I'm not even going to tell you which side. Actually, fuck it. I'll tell you all. I support ICE. Get the illegals out. They committed a crime. Get them out. Don Lemon committed a crime. Get him out. Boom. This is Multi from Mouth Multi. We love you. You can protest. Do it peaceably. Whatever the fuck you want to do. Anyway, I got to go to work. Bye.